The whistle's shrill blast cut through the humid Alabama air like a knife. And before I could even catch my breath from the last drill, my father's voice boomed across the field. "Get the hell off my turf, you disgrace!" His face was a mask of fury, veins bulging in his neck as he jabbed a finger at me, the star quarterback of our high school team, or at least what was left of it. I stood there frozen, cleats sinking into the mud, the weight of every teammate's stare burning into my back, because in that split second, the secret I'd buried deeper than the goal line had just clawed its way out into the open. It started with a text. One stupid, careless text from Jax that lit up my phone screen during water break. "Missed you last night. Can't wait to hold you again." Red heart. I'd meant to delete it. But Coach, my dad, snatched my phone to check for distractions. And there it was, glowing like a neon sign in a blackout. The betrayal hit like a blindside tackle. Not just from the exposure, but from the man who'd raised me to throw perfect spirals now looking at me like I was the enemy. I dropped my helmet in the dirt, the thud echoing louder than the crickets starting their evening chorus, and walked off that field without a backward glance, tears stinging my eyes but pride keeping my chin up. Little did I know that ejection was just the snap count on a play that would rewrite everything. My family, my heart, and the scoreboard of the state championship. My name's Eli Harper, and growing up in the sticky sweet sprawl of Mobile, Alabama, football wasn't just a game. It was religion. Sundays meant church and SEC tailgates, but Fridays? Fridays were for Friday night lights, where the whole town crammed into the bleachers of Barton Field, waving foam fingers and chugging lukewarm Bud Lights from coolers hidden under seats. Dad was the high priest of it all. Coach Harlan Harper, legendary for turning ragtag squads into state contenders back in his playing days at Bama. He'd drill us till our lungs burned, barking orders like, "Harper blood runs deep. Don't you forget it." And I was his golden boy, the 17-year-old phenom with the arm of a cannon and dreams of escaping this mosquito-netted life for a scholarship right up north. Jax Riley crashed into my world sophomore year. Transfer kid from Atlanta with sun-bleached hair and a grin that could disarm a linebacker. He was the new wide receiver, all lanky grace and quick feet, the kind of player who made impossible catches look like poetry. We'd bond over post-practice shakes at Dairy Queen, laughing about botched plays and quoting lines from Remember the Titans like it was scripture. But it was more than that. Late one night, after a rain-soaked win, we lingered in the locker room showers, steam curling like secrets, and he brushed my shoulder, lingering just a beat too long. "Eli," he whispered, voice rough from yelling routes. "You ever feel like you're playing a role nobody wrote for you?" I swallowed hard, heart hammering louder than the distant thunder. "Every damn day." And then his lips were on mine, tentative at first, then fierce, like we'd both been starving. It was electric, forbidden, the kind of kiss that tastes like freedom and fear all mixed up. From there, it snowballed. Stolen moments in his beat-up Chevy behind the old mill, hands intertwined under the dashboard during road games, texts that made my stomach flip like a bad snap. Jax was out to his mom back in Georgia. She'd hugged him tight and said, "Love who loves you right, baby." But here in the Bible Belt buckle, we were ghosts, invisible except in the shadows. Dad noticed the shift, though. "You're distracted, son," he'd grunt over dinner, fork stabbing at fried catfish like it owed him money. Mom would chime in with her soft southern drawl, "Give the boy space, Harlan, he's carrying the team." But Dad's eyes narrowed, always probing, like he could smell the sin on me. He ramped up the practices, turning them into personal boot camps, yelling until his voice cracked. "This ain't no fairy tale, Eli. Man up." The irony burned, but I bit it back, lacing up tighter, throwing farther, anything to prove I was still his son. The text blew it all to hell on a Tuesday in September, 2 weeks before the playoffs kicked off. We just run gassers, lungs screaming, when Dad hollered for phones. "No distractions, focus." Mine buzzed in his palm, and I saw the color drain from his face as he read. His jaw clenched, eyes flicking to Jax across the field, who was oblivious, stretching against the fence. "My office. Now." But instead of the office, he dragged me to the sideline, voice low and venomous. "You think you can parade this filth around my field? In front of my boys? Get out. You're done." The team froze, Big Mike, our 300-pound lineman, dropped his water jug. Jax's head snapped up, confusion etching his features. "Coach, what?" Dad whirled on him. "You too, Riley. I see what's going on. Both of you, off my turf." It was a gut punch, the kind that leaves you wheezing. I grabbed my bag, mud caking my shins, and bolted for the parking lot, Jax's footsteps pounding behind me. "Eli, wait!" He caught my arm at the chain-link gate, spinning me around. His eyes were wide, stormy blue under the floodlights. "What the hell just happened?" I shoved the phone at him, the incriminating heart emoji glaring back. He scanned it, then pulled me into a hug that crushed the air from my chest. "Shit, I'm sorry. I didn't think—" "It's not you," I muttered into his shoulder, inhaling the scent of grass and his cheap Axe body spray. "It's him. It's always been him." We drove to the beach that night, the Gulf's black waves lapping at the shore like they were whispering conspiracies. Sat on the hood of his car, beers swiped from his glove box fizzing open. "What now?" Jax asked, lacing his fingers through mine. The stars wheeled overhead, indifferent. "I don't know. Playoffs start Friday. Without me, we're screwed." He squeezed my hand. "Screw the team. You're more than this jersey, Eli." But I wasn't so sure. Football was my ticket out, my proof I belonged. And now I was just the queer kid Coach Harper had banished. Word spread like wildfire through Mobile's gossip grapevine. By morning, my phone was blowing up. Teammates texting "WTF dude." Mom calling in tears. "Your father's beside himself, Eli. Come home." I crashed at Jax's, his mom offering me the couch with a knowing smile and a plate of grits. Boys like you need a soft landing sometimes. Dad didn't call. Not once. Instead, he named Big Mike emergency QB, a brick wall of a kid who could barely read a defense, let alone throw a fade. The first playoff game was a slaughter. They eked out a win against some podunk school from Dothan, but Mike fumbled twice in the red zone, and the offense sputtered like a '78 Ford. Jax caught one slant for 6 yards all night, his routes crisp but his heart not in it. I watched from Jax's living room TV, biting my nails till they bled, Mom's worried texts piling up. "He's saying it's for the best. Proves character." Character, right? After Jax snuck over, climbing through my window like Romeo in bell-bottoms. We lay on my twin bed, staring at the glow-in-the-dark stars I'd stuck up in 5th grade. "Missed your calls today," he murmured, tracing circles on my palm. Dad took my phone, said I needed to pray on it. Jax snorted. "Pray for what?" "A miracle straight conversion." I laughed, but it hollowed out quick. "He hates me, Jax. The son he built from the ground up. Gone." He rolled to face me, cupping my cheek. "He doesn't hate you. He hates what he doesn't understand. But I get it, and I love you for it. All of it. Love." The word hung there, heavy as humidity. We danced around it for months, but now, post-kickout, it felt like armor. I kissed him slow, savoring the salt of unspoken fears, the way his breath hitched when I whispered it back. "Love you too." Outside, a dog barked. Inside, for a stolen hour, the world made sense. But sense is fleeting in the South. By week's end, we'd clawed to semis against Hoover High, the juggernaut from Birmingham. Dad's face on the local news pregame. This is about resilience, about family values. The irony twisted like a knife. I suited up in street clothes, tailgating with Jax's crew, but my blood sang for the field. Halftime score, 14-7, Hoover. Mike overthrew Jax on 3rd and long, and the stadium groaned. Then, karma's first whisper. A ref's flag on Hoover's star rusher for a late hit. But it wasn't enough. They pulled away 28-14. Dad's post-game presser was all grit. "We'll learn from this. Next year's ours. Next year." Without me, the thought soured my stomach. Jax and I drove aimlessly after, windows down, Luke Bryan crooning about small-town heartbreak on the radio. "You think he'll ever come around?" I asked the dashboard. Jax shrugged, one hand on the wheel, the other on my knee. "Maybe, but if not, we build our own team." Optimism. It was his superpower. Mine was doubt gnawing like fire ants. Little did we know, the real championship, the one that would gut us all, was just warming up. The off-season hit like a hangover after that semi-loss. All gray January rains and empty lots where goalposts used to mock me. Mobile hunkered down, Mardi Gras beads dangling like forgotten promises from live oaks. But for me, it was exile. Dad turned the garage into a war room, whiteboards scrawled with X's and O's for next year's playbook, pointedly excluding my name. Mom ferried apologies via Tupperware, casseroles with notes tucked inside. "He misses you, honey. Give it time." Time. Like I could rewind the text, the kiss, the coming out by default. School was a minefield. Hallways buzzed with whispers. Heard coach caught Eli with that Atlanta boy. Full-on make-out in the showers. Bullshit, but truth serum in a town starved for scandal. Big Mike clapped my shoulder in the cafeteria, mumbling, "Miss your throws, man." But his eyes darted like he expected Dad to burst in. Jax was my anchor, slipping notes into my locker. Lunch under the bleachers? Red Heart, we'd huddle there, PB and JS and contraband cokes, plotting escapes. "Duke's got a camp in June," he'd say, eyes lit like fireflies. "Show 'em what they're missing." But Dad's shadow loomed. He cornered Jax after chem lab one day, voice gravel. "Stay away from my boy, Riley. I know your type, ruining good kids." Jax stood tall, chin up. "With respect, coach, Eli's not ruined. He's real." Dad's laugh was bitter, like black coffee. "Real? This ain't Atlanta, son. This is Alabama. Act like it." Jax told me later, fists clenched white on the steering wheel. "He treats you like property, Eli. You're not property." The word stuck, festering. I'd always been Dad's extension. His arm through me, his legacy on the field. Now, I was defective goods, returned to sender. Nights, I'd lie awake, replaying the kickout. His finger jabbing, the team's silence a chorus of judgment. Was this what coming out meant? Not rainbows, but rejection, raw and ragged? Spring brought tryouts and Dad's new era squad. He scouted freshmen like a hawk, molding them in my image but without the flaws. Jax stuck around, walk-on status tenuous, but his speed kept him golden. Me? I laced up for pickup games at the park. Rusty at first, then sharp, the ball spiraling true under my grip. A scout from Auburn emailed, "Heard about the family drama. Talent like yours doesn't vanish." Hope flickered, fragile as a match in wind. Then betrayal slithered in, sly as Spanish moss. It was May, azaleas blooming defiant pink, when I overheard Mom on the phone in the kitchen. "Harlan, you can't do this. Eli's grades are slipping." Dad's voice crackled through the speaker. "Good. Maybe it'll knock sense into him. I'm pulling strings. No scouts touching that mess. Pulling strings. My own father, sabotaging my future to save me." I slammed out the back door, chest heaving, and drove straight to Jax's. He found me on the porch swing, rocking like a storm-tossed buoy. "Talk," he said, settling beside me, our thighs brushing in that casual intimacy we'd earned. I spilled it all, voice cracking on the sabotage. Jax's face hardened, jaw ticking. "That's not love, Eli. That's control." He pulled me close, foreheads touching, breath sinking. "We leave. Summer's end. Pack a bag. Crash with my aunt in Savannah till college hits." Savannah. Neutral ground. Away from Dad's reach. I nodded, tasting possibility, but fear coiled tight. What about Mom? The town? The game? Karma warmed up that June at Duke's camp. I hitchhiked to Raleigh, Jax's Chevy too recognizable. Nerves jangling like loose change. The field was a dream. Manicured turf, coaches barking plays with big league polish. I threw clinics, lasers threading needles, and by day 2 whispers followed. "That's the Harper kid, coach's son, right? The one who got booted. Scandal travels, but so does talent." Head coach pulled me aside post-scrimmage. "Heard the story. Bullshit. You've got first-round arm. Scholarship's yours if you want it." Elation surged, hot and sweet. I called Jax from a payphone, voice bubbling. "We're out. Baby. Duke. Full ride." His whoop echoed down the line. "Knew it. Pack those damn cleats." But joy soured on the drive home when I spotted Dad's truck idling outside the house, engine rumbling like thunder. He was on the porch when I pulled up, arms crossed, face etched with something new. Not rage, but regret. Eli, he started, voice gruff. Auburn called. Said you impressed at camp. I braced, keys biting my palm. Yeah, scholarship offer. His nod was slow. Proud of that. But son, we gotta talk about the other thing. The other thing. Like my queerness was a side quest. Dad, it's not the other thing. It's me. All of me. He shifted, boots scuffing the planks. I reacted bad. Church groups been praying. Maybe. Therapy? For both of us. Therapy. Olive branch, wrapped in conversion barbs. I laughed. Sharp. I'm good, Dad. Really. He reached out, hand hovering, then dropped it. Don't throw it all away over. Him. Jax reduced to a pronoun. I brushed past, heart splintering anew. Inside, Mom hugged me tight. He's trying, Eli. In his way. Trying. But whose way? Not mine. Summer deepened, fireflies winking Morse code in the dusk. Jax and I stole weekends at Dauphin Island, sand dollars crunching underfoot, waves erasing our footprints like secrets. One evening, bonfire crackling, he carved our initials into a driftwood log. E+J. Proof, he said, eyes reflecting flames. We were here. I kissed him then, deep and unhurried. The ocean's roar drowning our gasps. Romance in the raw, salty skin. Tangled limbs under stars. Whispers of forever. But forever's a luxury when betrayal's your shadow. Crested mid-July at the annual Harper family barbecue. Dad invited the team, a forced reconciliation ploy, Jax conspicuously absent from the list. I showed anyway, Jax in tow, hand in mine like a gauntlet thrown. The backyard buzzed. Aunts in floral muumuus, cousins tossing frisbees. The scent of ribs smoking low and slow. Dad's eyes narrowed as we approached, but he grunted a hello, slapping burgers onto the grill with extra force. Big Mike sidled up, beer in hand. Underage, but who's counting? Coach is mellowing, man. Mentioned you might suit up for senior year. Hope dangled, baited hook. Jax squeezed my hand, warning, but I bit. Really? Mike nodded, oblivious. Yeah, after that Auburn scout called him out on the sabotage. Said it'd tank his rep. Sabotage. Out loud. Dad's spatula froze mid-flip. The explosion was biblical. What the hell did you just say? Dad roared, rounding on Mike, who stammered like a fumbled handoff. Jax tugged me back, but too late. Dad's glare locked on me. You told? Spread lies to ruin me? Lies. My throat closed. Truth, Dad. You tried to bury me. The party hushed, forks pausing mid-bite. Mom fluttered forward. Harlan not here. But he was gone, storming inside, door slamming like Judgment Day. Jax drove us away, tires spinning gravel. That was brave, he murmured, thumb stroking my knuckles. Brave? Or stupid? The betrayal stung deeper now. Not just Dad's, but the fracture in our world, cracks spiderwebbing out. Fall loomed, leaves turning trader gold. Senior year started with a buzz. New QB transfer from Pensacola. A hotshot named Tyler with a cannon arm to rival mine. Dad's solution. Jax made varsity captain, his routes poetry in motion. Me? I walked the halls a ghost, scholarship letter from Duke burning a hole in my backpack. But doubt whispered. Was running the answer? Or just another field to flee? Then the real hook. An anonymous email to the school paper. Coach Harper's homophobia. Kicking out his own son. Screenshots attached, my texts. Dad's tirade. Mike's slip. Leak from within. Dad's empire trembled. And Karma? She was just warming her hands. The leak hit like a hurricane, Category 5, flattening Dad's facade overnight. By Monday, the Mobile Register ran a front-page spread. Local coach accused of bias after ejecting gay son from team. Reporters swarmed Barton Field. Mike's thrusting like spears. Questions sharp. Mr. Harper, does your faith inform your coaching? Dad stonewalled. Face a thundercloud. Private family matter. Focus on the kids. But the kids were focusing plenty. Teammates dividing like Red Sea. some dmang me solidarity emojis, others ghosting hard. School assembly turned circus. Principal droned about inclusivity. But eyes flicked to me in the back row, Jax beside me, our linked pinkies a quiet rebellion. Whispers hissed. Faggot got daddy canned? Canned? Not yet, but suspensions loomed. Practices cancelled pending investigation. Dad holed up, blinds drawn, Mom's casseroles going cold on the counter. I pitied her most, caught in the crossfire, her soft pleas echoing. He's breaking, Eli. Lost without the field. Breaking. Irony dripped like Spanish moss. I'd shattered first, pieced back with Jax's glue. But now, the town turned on him, boycotts brewing against booster fundraisers. Can't support a bigot. One email chain leaked. Karma's teeth, gnashing slow. Jax and I navigated the fallout arm in arm, literally PDA our new armor. Lunch under bleachers evolved to cafeteria tables. His knee against mine a steady pulse. Duke called, he said one day, ketchup smear on his lip like war paint. Want me for track. Full ride if I commit. Elation sparked. Savannah pit stop, then Durham? Us against the world. He grinned that lopsided Jack's magic. Hell yeah. But first, homecoming. Dance. You, me, bad punch. Homecoming. In Alabama? Gutsy. But romance thrives in defiance. We went. Tuxes rented cheap. Corsages wilting in the October heat. Gym transformed. Twinkling lights. Sweet home Alabama. Thumping from speakers. Heads turned as we entered. My hand in his like a dare. Dad watched from the punch bowl, volunteer chaperone, eyes hollowed. We danced slow to Ed Sheeran, world narrowing to his breath on my neck, whispers of dreams. Pro scouts, beach houses, a life unscripted. But conflict brewed. Tyler, the transfer QB, cornered us post-dance, breath sour with Boone's farm. Coach says you're poison, Harper. Stay off our turf. Our turf. Like I hadn't bled for it. Jack stepped up, chest out. It's coach's hate talking, not yours. Tyler sneered, shoving Jax's shoulder. Fairy football. Pathetic. Fists clenched. I pulled Jax back, heart pounding. Not worth it. But the shove lingered, bruise blooming purple on his collarbone. Next day, it escalated. Practice footage leaked. Dad berating Tyler for a pick, voice cracking. You throw like that queer kid I raised. Audio gold for the haters. School board meeting packed. Protesters with signs love wins. Counter-protesters thumping Bibles. Mom testified, voice quavering. Harlan's a good man. Hurting bad. Good man. My ass clench. I testified too, first-person raw. He kicked me out for loving someone. That's not coaching, that's cruelty. Board voted suspension. Dad benched for the season. Championship dreams? Deferred. He came home shattered, bottle of Jack in hand. Not his style. Found me in the garage, tossing old trophies into a box. Eli. One word, heavy as chains. I froze, lid half closed. What? He slumped against the workbench, eyes red-rimmed. I failed you. Pushed too hard. Thought I was protecting. Protecting. From what? Myself? You weren't, Dad. You broke us. He reached for the box, fingers brushing a 14-state plaque. Me hoisting it. 9 years old, gap-toothed grin. Remember this? You said, Daddy, we're unstoppable. Tears tracked his cheeks. Unfamiliar. I meant it then. Still do. Vulnerability cracked open. I wanted to hate him, but the boy in the photo tugged. Unstoppable how? With lies. He shook his head. No lies. Just learning. Church counselors helping. Says forgiveness starts inside. Forgiveness. Olive branch, thorns trimmed. I left it hanging, but seeds planted. Jax noticed the shift. You went soft on him? Over pizza at his place, sauce staining our fingers. Not soft. Human. He nodded, but tension simmered. His own dad bailing years back, leaving scars. Just don't let him reel you in. We're this close to free. Free. But freedom's price. The championship loomed, November chill sharpening the air. With Dad sidelined, an assistant took reins. Fair guy, no grudges. He called me in. Eli, we need you. Tyler's arms glass. Team's fracturing. Need me. The prodigal QB. Jax urged caution. Trap. But the field called, siren's song. I suited up for scrimmages, spirals whistling true. Team rallying like old times. Big Mike bear hugged post first TD. Missed this bro. Jax watched from stands. Thumbs up. But his smile strained. Betrayal's second act dropped like a bomb. Week before semis, Tyler's locker searched. Steroids. Pills rattling like accusations. But the note pinned inside? Courtesy of Coach Harper, clean house. Forged. Obvious. But whispers flew. Dad's revenge? He denied. Furious. I'd never. But suspicion stuck, Tari. Reporters circled again. Mom weeping on the porch. Why won't they believe him? I confronted Tyler in the lot, gravel crunching. You plant that. He laughed. Nah. But if the shoe fits. Shoe. Dad's Nikes, size 12, implicated. The board reconvened. Dad fired outright. Effective immediate. Championship without him. Poetic. Painful. That night, storm raging, Dad knocked on my door. First time since the leak. Rain plastered his shirt, eyes wild. Eli, it's Jax. Accident. Tyler's truck swerved. Hit him broadside. World tilted. I bolted. Tires hydroplaning to the ER, heart in throat. Jax, pale on gurney, arm in sling, ribs cracked. I'm okay, he rasped, but pain etched deep. Tyler? Tearful confession. Slipped on wet leaves. Didn't see him. Leaves. Or rage-fueled swerve. Dad waited in hall, hands trembling. He'll pull through. Tough kid. Tough. Like us. I collapsed against him. First hug in months. Sobs racking. What are we doing, Dad? He held tight. Fucking it up. But we fix it. Together. Karma paused, breathless. Semis dawned crisp. Turf frosted silver. I started QB, Jackson stands, bandaged but beaming. We crushed Opelika 35-14, my throws arrows, team's fire reborn. Post-game, Dad slipped into the shadows, watching silent. Progress prickly. The climax brewed. Championship. Versus Hoover again. Rematch redemption. Town Electric, sold out Barton. Banners waving Harper strong. Eli's way. Jax texted pregame. Throw for us. Red heart. I did opening drive 70-yard bomb to Big Mike, crowd erupting. Halftime tied 21 all, sweat stinging eyes. Then the play. Fourth quarter. 2 o'clock left. Down by 3. Dad's old audible. Blue 4-2. I scanned, saw Tyler, benchwarmer now, signaling from sideline. Double coverage on Mike. I rolled out, eyes locking on the ghost route. Jax's route. No, wait, open man. A freshman, green but game. Spiral flew true, TD snatch. 27-24. Knees buckled in end zone. Tears mixing with turf. But as confetti rained, karma struck full. Dad. Rushing field for handshake. Collapsed mid-stride. Clutching chest. Face ashen. Paramedics swarmed. Stadium hushed. Heart attack. The price of a lifetime's pressure. Sirens wailed into the night, cutting through the championship roar like a bad dreams underscore. Hoover's field lights blurred as I sprinted beside the stretcher. Dad's hand limp in mine, monitors beeping frantic Morse. Stay with me, old man, I muttered, voice cracking over the din. Jax piled into the ambulance. His good arm around my shoulders, Mom trailing in her sedan, face a ghost in the rearview. Our waiting room. Fluorescent hell, magazines curling at edges, coffee bitter as regret. Doc emerged after an eternity. Clogged artery. Stent in, he's stable. Rest'll mend the rest. Stable. Word like a lifeline. We filed in, Dad pale against starched sheets, tubes snaking like accusations. His eyes fluttered open, finding mine. Saw the throw, son. Perfect. Perfect. From him, I choked up. We won, Dad. For you. He squeezed my hand, weak but real. No. For us. Fractured but mending. Jax hung back, respectful, but Dad beckoned him closer. Riley. Sorry for everything. Jax nodded, throat bobbing. Water under the bridge, coach. Bridge. We'd cross it, wobbly but wide. Recovery stretched weeks. Dad's recliner throne in the living room. Remotes within reach. Mom fussing with jello molds. I split time, school, now hero status. Lockers graffitied QB queer king. Practices. Team co-captained with Big Mike. Jack's coaching routes from crutches. Hospital runs. Dad and I talked real talk, not grunts over drills. Feared losing you two. That life. He admitted one dusk. Sun slanting gold through blinds. But lost you trying to stop it. I leaned on the bed rail. It's not a life, Dad. It's mine. He nodded, slow. Fair. Just be happy. That's the win. Happy. With Jack's healing parallel. Physical therapy laps in the pool. My hands steadying his strokes, we carved space for it. Picnics at Mere Park. Oysters raw and briny. Laughter bubbling freer. Romance deepened. Not fireworks but hearth glow. Forehead kisses over homework. Mixtapes of Springsteen ballads. Thunder Road our anthem. Escaping small-town chains. One night, stars pricking velvet sky. He proposed a pact. Matching tattoos? Tiny footballs, intertwined. I laughed. Deal. Durham ink shop. First week. But conflict lingered. Embers flaring. Tyler transferred out. Whispers of juvie threats. But his parting shot echoed. Dad's confession tape. Anonymous drop to board. Admit it, Harlan. You dosed my locker to frame me. Dad denied, voice rising. I'd never sabotage a kid. But doubt seated, his old playbook, ruthless wins. Mom confided. He coached dirty once, back in Bama days. Bribes, I hear. Dirty. The man who taught me clean spirals, now suspect? Suspicion peaked at the holiday fundraiser. Booster gala. Dad honored for service despite the mess. Black ties. Chicken cordon bleu sweating under chafing dishes. I stood with Jack's, punch cups in hand. When Tyler's mom approached, eyes steel. Your father's lies cost my boy everything. Lies, plural. She slipped a USB. Listen. Then decide. Heart thudding. I pocketed it, excusing to the balcony. Audio crackled. Dad's voice? Tinny but unmistakable. Pre-leak. Harper here. Need you to plant the gear in Riley's locker. No, the other kids. Make it look queer-coded. Shake the team. Queer-coded. My stomach roiled. Betrayal, triple distilled. Not just ejection, sabotage, but weaponizing my identity against others. Jax found me retching over the rail. What? I thrust the drive at him. He listened, face draining. That son of a... We confronted post-gala. Kitchen tense as a huddle. Mom hovered, sensing storm. Dad. The tape. His fork paused mid-bite of pie. What tape? I played it, tinny accusations filling the room. Silence swallowed us. Then his sigh, defeated. It was a bluff. Booster rival, threatening exposure. I played along, thinking it'd fizzle. Bluff. You used me. My being gay as ammo? Voice rose, cracking. To protect your rep? He wilted. Pie forgotten. Weak. Eli. I was weak. Feared the town turning, losing the field. My world. Weak. Not the god I'd idolized. Jax, from the doorway, voice ice. Your world's built on kids' backs. Ours. Dad met his gaze, unflinching. You're right. I quit coaching. For good. Quit. The empire crumbled. Dust. Fallout cascaded. Board rescinded honor. Town divided. Forgivers versus purists. Dad sold his playbook collection. Proceeds to a youth LGBTQ center in Birmingham. Redemption's work. He called it voice gruff over soup. Mom beamed, bridge builder. Me? Forgiveness simmered, not boiled over. Jax urged space. Don't rush. Heal your way. Christmas brought thaw. Tree twinkling in the bay window, lights reflecting like hesitant stars. Dad gifted me a locket, silver, engraved unstoppable. With a photo. Us, 14 championship, arms slung proud. No conditions, he said, handing it over. I clasped it, metal cool against skin. Thanks. Jax's gift. A leather journal, pages blank for our story. Write the ending we deserve. New year dawned crisp. Resolutions whispered. Jax's arm mended, track sprints resuming. My Duke packet finalized, acceptance gleaming. But emotion crested February, Jax's birthday, beach bonfire redux, waves sighing secrets. We walked the surf, pants rolled, toes numb. Love you, he said, halting to face me, wind whipping hair wild. More than fields, more than winds. I pulled him close, salt spray kissing our cheeks. Marry me? Someday. Half joke, full heart. He laughed, tears salting the sea. Someday, Snow. Yes. Laughter faded to depth. Kisses sealing vows under moon's indifferent gaze. Romance, resilient. Not fairy tale, but hard-won hearth. Spring bloomed, betrayal's burial. Dad volunteered at the center, reading to kids, stories of outcasts winning big. Your influence, he told me over burgers at Waffle House, neon buzzing. Showed me grace. Grace, human, messy. Championship echo lingered. Trophy on mantle, but Dad's absence the real prize. Space for truth. Jax and I packed for Durham, U-Haul groaning under boxes of futures. Farewell barbecue. Team toasting. Big Mike bear hugging. Y'all changed the game. Dad raised a glass, eyes misty. To Eli, my hero. Hero. From disgrace to that. Karma's full circle, gentle now. But wait, one last twist. Envelope in my mail. Auburn Scout. Anonymous. Heard the full story. Offer stands. For the kid who threw through hell. Auburn. Home turf. Redemption arc. Jax grinned over coffee. Go if it heals. I weighed it, lock it heavy. Duke called north. Auburn rooted south. Choice loomed, hearts audible. Summer solstice sun baked mobile goodbye. Humidity clinging like a lover's farewell. Jax and I debated the offers over porch swings. Duke's promise of fresh starts. Auburn's tether to tangled roots. North feels clean, he said. Iced tea sweating in his grip. But south? That's claiming your ground. Ground. The field I'd fled, now fertile for reclaiming. Dad weighed in quiet, over checkers. Wherever, son. Just play true. True. His North Star now. I chose Auburn. Not for him, but me. Facing the ghost fields. Proving love doesn't bend under cleats. Jax beamed. War Eagle, baby. I'll commute track meets. Compromise our love language. Move day dawned electric. U-Haul hitched to his Chevy. Boxes labeled us. Mom hugged fierce. Tears soaking my shirt. Proud, Eli. So proud. Dad's grip lingered. Calluses rough from new volunteer work. Coaching Little League, inclusive edition. Call weekly. Love you. Love. First utterance, seismic. You too, Dad. Interstate 65 North. Windows down. Wind whipping regrets away. Jax's playlist looped. Springsteen to Sam Smith. Anthems of breaking free. We hit Auburn at dusk. Campus sprawling gold under magnolias. Plainsman Park a beacon. Dorms assigned separate, but we'd bend rules like routes. Unpacking. Posters of Jordan-Hare Stadium. Our driftwood log from the beach propped on the sill. Freshman orientation buzzed. Mixers, syllabi stacks, eyes catching on us. Two Southern boys, hands brushing casual. Whispers. Minimal. College air thinner, acceptance thicker. Jax crashed my room first night. Twin beds shoved together. Whispers till dawn. Dreams of NFL drafts. Beach vows. A life laced with touchdowns and tenderness. Football camp hit hard. Two-a-days under August blaze. Coaches barking Harper. Dig. Arm held. Scouts nodded. Jax thrived on the track. Hurdles flying. His cheers from the stands my fuel. Nights we'd collapse. Takeout cooling on desks. Mapping futures. Pro for you, Olympics for me? Laughter. Light. But emotions undercurrent pulled. Homecoming loomed, first game sold out. Dad and Mom road trip down. Tickets in paw. Section 12, row 5. Pre-game jitters. What if I choke? Jax cupped my face. Thumbs tracing jaw. You won't. You're unbreakable. Unbreakable. Echo of Dad's plaque. Kickoff. Roar deafening. Auburn faithful orange and blue tide. I started backup, but starter twisted ankle first quarter, and I came heart thunder. First drive. Audible snap. Red 19. Spiral to the end zone, TD Silk. Crowd erupted. From the stands, Dad's whoop pierced, raw joy. Halftime lead 14-7. Locker pep. This for the Harpers. Climax crested fourth quarter. Tied 28-all. 1 o'clock left. Hoover again, Fates rematch. Their D-line blitzed. Blindside hit crumpling me. Turf tasting copper. Fumble? No, ball tucked, scramble, eye scanning chaos. Ghost route open. Freshman receiver. Green but gutsy. Throw wobbled. Hanging. Caught. Stride, dive, touchdown as 0 ticked. 34-28. Knees hit grass. Tears hot. Team piling on like victory's weight. Post whistle. Field storm. Confetti blizzard. Headlines brewing. Dad rushed down. Barriers breached. Hugging fierce. Knew it, son. No camera flashes needed. This win intimate. Jax joined. Sling long gone. Our trio. Fractured family. Reforged. Aftermath rippled humanistic. Dad's story went viral. Not scandal but salvation. Coach's redemption. From ejection to embrace. Invites poured. Panels on sports and identity. Youth camps blending faith and flags. He thrived. Voice steady. Loves the real playbook. Mom bloomed. Starting a support group for parents like her. Mothers of the March. Jax and I. Romance rooted deep. Auburn winters. Bonfires on Toomer's Corner. Rolls of toilet paper raining like blessings. Spring break. Savannah detour. Aunt's cottage by the river. Lazy days in hammocks. Nights tracing tattoos. Intertwined footballs. Inked bold on wrists. Forever play, he murmured, lips brushing the fresh lines. Senior year blurred. Heisman whispers for me, national qualifiers for him. Betrayal's scar faded. A faint line under tan. Dad visited games. Chest clear. Pride unclouded. One tailgate. Beers in hand, legal now. He clinked mine. Kicked you out to save you. Saved myself instead. Wisdom, hard-earned. Graduation dawn sweltering. Robes sticking like second skins. Diplomas in grip. Jax's valedictorian nod beside me. Speech. We throw not to win, but to connect. Across lines. Loves. Lives. Cheers thundered. Dad wiped eyes, unashamed. Post-ceremony. Under live oaks dripping Spanish moss. Family photo. Mom beaming. Dad arm slung round us. Jax's hand in mine. To unstoppable, he toasted. We drank deep, champagne fizzy as hope. Epilogue unwinds gentle. Pro day looms, scouts circling. Jack's eyes European circuits. Dad coaches clinic, Harper hearts. Blending gridiron and grace. Mobile fades mirror, but roots run deep, karma's gift. Full circle. And us? In a quiet Auburn apartment, post-draft nerves, he pulls me close. Ready. Always. Loves the championship. Dramatic. Gut-wrenching. Ultimately won. In the end, the field wasn't the battleground. Hearts were. And ours? Victorious. Laced with light.